I finally set up irrigation for the corn. I used one of the two sprinkler hoses that the former homeowner left behind. And for the tomatoes, well, those two I have to hand water over there. But the rest of them, I've got a 75-foot soaker hose, and connected to it I also have a 25-foot soaker hose, and that covers all of the tomato plants. I could probably connect the other 25-foot soaker hose to cover the peppers, but since there's only 9 of them, I can hand water those. I did have a casualty, which is hopefully going to be a temporary casualty, while I was doing the sprinkler hoses. Gee, that was irritating. While I was doing the sprinkler hoses over here, I stepped on one of my potato plants. It's the second smallest one, so it wasn't quite as obviously there. And I gave it some water, so I'm hoping it'll bounce back. It looks like it might make it. It hasn't wilted yet. So we'll see what happens. But meanwhile, I've got the sprinklers set up. A couple of the plants are not getting as much water as the rest. I have to figure out what to do there. But what's going on here is this splitter, which was connecting when I found it with these two, with the sprinkler hoses. There was a sprinkler hose attached to each side. So I've set that other one aside. I'll probably use it for something. Meanwhile, I can switch these on and off as needed. It's off for now, but anyway, it's just kind of nice being able to turn on the spigot and water these without having to water each one individually like I was. I'm not sure how much those fire ants are going to appreciate it. They very well may love it. I don't know. I hope they don't get too used to it, though, because I hope to evict them eventually. There's some more underneath here. So that's what's going on there. Like I say, this marigold, that marigold, and those two tomato plants are going to have to be watered manually. But the rest are doing pretty well, and I got 2 more zucchini plants, actually 4 more, come to think of it, from a neighbor. I planted one back over there. I don't know why it's not focusing like it should. There we go. Got one there. I planted one here. And there's also one over there, and that's actually 2. I don't know if both of them will make it or not. So I've got those. That's a pumpkin plant that was transplanted from up front. Those are pumpkins. That's a pumpkin. And that scrawny little thing there is also a pumpkin. We'll see if that makes it. It looks like it's doing okay. The beans are hanging in there. They've been blooming a little bit, but there's not a lot of activity yet on those. The cucumbers are starting to bloom. They're looking okay. I've got these scarlet runner beans that I need to finish transplanting over there. And then the watermelon. The ones I planted last are growing a little bit slower, and I noticed it also Looks like the soil is very different here and here from what it is over there, because I planted this one maybe a day or two, I think maybe a day or two before I planted that one. And I planted this one. I planted that hill on the same day that I planted that hill. But apparently the soil is better there than here, even though I put extra manure there and I put extra manure here. This whole area used to be covered with clover, so that may or may not make a difference. But this guy was planted probably about a week before. And these guys they're very happy plants. And this is the Desert King, which is a yellow watermelon. And that's what that one and those. These are Rattlesnake, which is a red variety. And I am just looking forward to the opportunity to have someone come in to visit and look at the garden. And as they walk into the garden, I will tell them to make sure not to step on the rattlesnakes. Let's see what kind of reaction we get. The potatoes, the non-stepped on potatoes. This one's the smallest one. It's really lagging. I don't know why, but it was also the last one to come up. Shiloh, don't step on anything. Good boy. There's that one and that one. Doing very well. And then there's the peppers. I need to water the peppers. I've got 9. Once upon a time I had 10 pepper plants. Good boy, Shiloh. Come on out of there. Good boy. He likes to explore. Don't you, Shiloh? Do you like to explore? Oh, the happy doggy. Okay, back, 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 back and around. Good boy. Right there. Okay, anyway, and then there's all the strawberries mixed in here, which I'm very much looking forward to digging up and transplanting over to that area there, which has already been tilled up. And I'll just put some more manure in there and we'll see how that does. So that is a tour of the Griffith Homestead vegetable garden as it is at this time. Oh, the last thing that I didn't point out, I've got some nasturtium, which is an edible flower, and I've got some eggplant, and they were planted the same time the tomato plants were planted in a seed starter, but it took them about 2 to 2.5 months to show up. I don't know why it took them so long to sprout, but they're coming along pretty well, considering how long it took them to get started. Oh, there we go. They're hanging in there. And as night falls and the birds are getting more active, it is the end to another lovely day at the Griffith Homestead. And the noble Shiloh stands watch.